So sometimes you'll see weak self in a closure in Swift to avoid a retain cycle, but you don't always need it. So let's take a look at some examples of when you should and shouldn't use weak self. So here I have a view controller. It has a property, it's this closure, and by default this is a strong property unless I mark it weak, as properties are in iOS. And closures implicitly retain whatever is inside of them. So this closure has a strong reference to self, and self also has a strong reference to the closure. So this is one of the areas to look out for, mutual retention. Because of that, I'm going to put weak self just to be safe. And because weak self can be nil, I do this guard statement right here just to make sure the program doesn't crash. So one of the other areas to look out for is lifecycle. So here I have this data fetcher class. I have these two functions, both have closure parameters, but one of the closures is escaping, meaning it can outlive the function call. You'll see this a lot in network calls when it's asynchronous and it's going to do something in the future. So this closure is going to execute immediately, therefore I don't need weak self here, but for the one that's going to execute in the future, it's a good idea to use weak self. So what about Grand Central Dispatch, like dispatch queue.main async or whatever? In this case, the view controller doesn't have a strong reference to this, and this is going to execute immediately, so I don't need weak self. But for async after, because it's going to execute in the future, it can be a good idea to use weak self, especially since there's a lot of uncertainty around life cycles. Yeah, so let me know if you have any questions, and thanks for tuning in.